So I picked up a bit of a problem with this tyre over the weekend, started to lose air pressure, but it's not actually a puncture. In fact, it's a pretty common occurrence of four-wheel driving, because what's happened is some grit or a bit of wood has got lodged in the bead there. That's the area between the rim and the tyre, and that means the bead isn't sealing as well as it should be, and air is escaping out of that sort of non-sealed area. Now, you can often tell this because the tyre will generally go down to a certain pressure, and then it will stay there, it won't drop any further. In this case, it's gone down to about sort of 12 or 13 psi, and that's where it stopped. Now, it's a fairly easy fix. What I'm going to do is just drop all the air out of the tyre completely by removing the valve. Then I'm going to break the bead. I'm going to remove the debris back in there, and I'm going to re-inflate the tyre, and that will fix it. So step one is I've got my trusty tyre repair box here. I take the tyre valve removal tool and just remove the valve completely. So with the air out of the tyre, we need to separate the tyre from the rim. That's called breaking the bead. Many ways to do that, and probably the best way I like is the high lift jack. Just ask Mad Nat 4-wheel drive about that. There are other ways to do that, so see my other video. So you can break the tyre's bead at any point around its circumference, but where is actually best to break it? Well, if your problem is, let's say, over on one side, I would break the bead at the exact opposite side, and the reason for that is when you break the bead, you separate the tyre quite a long way from the rim, and anything which is stuck there can actually drop down inside the tyre, and that is bad news. You don't want that. Whereas if you break it on the opposite side, that allows you to more gently separate the tyre from the rim, and hopefully not let anything drop inside your problem area. You will, however, still separate the entire rim from the tyre all the way around. Just do it a bit more gently. This is less of a problem with mud than it is with things like sticks which are lodged in the bead. Okay, so as you can see, the bead is broken here. That means that I can get in between the rim and the tyre, and then I can extract the offending problem, which is this little bit of wood which has got lodged between the rim and the bead. So we don't need that anymore. Now, whilst I'm here, you've also got to clean up with a rag, wet rag, the inside of the rim and also the tyre itself. So therefore you're going to get a good seal. What you don't want to do is have anything drop down into the rim itself, because that will damage the inside of the tyre. Important that you don't do that. If you do that, if that happens, then you've either got to sort of raise the tyre vertically and somehow fish it out, or just remove the rim from the tyre completely and then get it out that way. Now, if you do remove the tyre from the rim completely, make sure that you put it back exactly the same way it came out, i.e. that, let's say that the ATM here is exactly lined up like that. You can just put a mark, and the reason for that is because that way the tyre should be pretty much in balance when it goes back onto the rim. Whereas if you take the tyre off and you forget exactly, well, where that A was, maybe it was over here or over there, then the tyre is more than likely going to be out of balance. Anyway, with the debris removed and everything cleaned up, all I've now got to do is re-inflate the tyre, which is pretty easy to do. So I'm just going to put a block of wood underneath it here. That will allow me to stand on the rim. That will create a bit of a seal there, and that will pop back into place, and off I go. Tyres as good as new, problem fixed. Pretty common four-wheel driving issue, and fairly easy to resolve. So here's a quick look at my trusty tyre repair box. It's not everything, doesn't have the tyre levers, but there's a few essentials in here. Now obviously we've got plugs, which are really great for just fixing small holes. I've got quite a few of those. This is the plug insertion tool, and that's the reamer needed to make it a bit bigger. And these are proper metal heavy duty ones. I don't really like the plastic ones. These cut off bits of hose. I use them when I'm using tyre levers just to protect the rim, so a few of those are great as well. We've got some plugs in here, so patches rather. They're really handy. I've got a valve removal tool here, that's essential, and I've got spare valves just in case they get ripped off, so they can be pulled out and replaced. And I've also got quite a few valve caps, which is important, and also quite a few extra valves as well. Now just go to an auto shop and just buy a few more of these and a few more valve caps there, because if you don't have valve caps or valves, then you've got no way of keeping air in your tyre. Now one interesting point is you can actually retain pressure in your tyre using just a valve cap. Don't recommend it, but you can do it. But these are so tiny and so cheap and light, just get a handful of them like I've done and drop them in there, and there's the other tools there. So all of that is basically my trusty, this here is good for, this bit of chalk is good for marking tyres if you want to pull them off and put them back on the same place. So handy to have that, and a bit of rubber there. Got to put that cap back on actually as well. So this is just vulcanising seal. We use that in conjunction with the plugs, but also especially with the patches. So with four-wheel driving, there's another issue related to debris in the rim, and it's to do with balance. Now you might think that this rim and tyre combination is actually perfectly balanced and even, but it isn't. If we look at the wheel, maybe this side of the wheel is slightly heavier than that, or the inside slightly heavier than the outside. You just can't get that really precise manufacturing tolerance. And then also, more importantly, the tyre as well, because that's got a greater diameter than the wheel. Again, the manufacturing tolerances on something like a tyre are not absolutely perfect either. Again, this part of the tyre might be heavier than this part of the tyre, or the inside or the outside. The point being is that the balance of the vehicle isn't perfect, and as you start to speed up beyond about, let's say, 50, 60, 70, 80 kilometres an hour, any imperfection in the balance of the wheel is going to come out, and you'll feel a vibration through the steering wheel. Now, the way that's fixed is that there's a bunch of weights like these. This is a 10 gram all the way up to 100 gram, and tyre fitters take these weights and they put them maybe on the inside of the rim there, or maybe they put them on the outside of the rim, one of the two. And they do that and they figure it all out using a machine like this wheel balancer here. They put the wheel balancer on and it spins, and then that readout there tells them what weights to apply where. So that's pretty common anytime you've got a tyre fitted to a rim. Now what has this got to do with four-wheel driving? Well, if you drive through mud like this, we're talking sticky, clayey mud here, then your tyres might end up like this. There's a substantial amount of mud literally stuck to my wheel and tyre there, and you can see I've cleaned it off here, and that is quite a large amount of mud. I can't remember how much it was, but I think that's actually over a kilogram. So yeah, fairly large, substantial amount there. Now, having that amount of mud on your tyre is definitely going to throw the balance off, no question at all. And you'll feel that as you get beyond about maybe 30, 40 k's an hour, and the vehicle might start to vibrate more and more and more. So if you have been driving through mud, you've got a lot of mud on it, start to clean it off as best as you can. Use a stick, whatever else you can there. And by the way, that's a good reason not to get too fussed about your rims, because they will tend to get scratched there. And give it a good hose off when you get home. Now here's another example of mud in the rim. Now this is a bit more insidious. You go back to the previous one, it's pretty obvious that you've got mud there. But this one, there's not really that much mud on the outside of the rim. It's all inside, and it's kind of the same colour, yet it can actually cause just as much of a balance problem. Remember, balance weights go down to about 10 grams, even 5 grams sometimes. So having, potentially 200 or 300 grams of mud on the inside of your rim can definitely be a problem there. Okay, so that's what you've got to clean your wheel off to look like before you go four-wheel driving. I hope you found this video useful. Please like, subscribe, share, etc. Any comments or any questions rather, please drop them in the comments. Thanks, bye.